Welcome back, guys. Today it's going to be the last of my explaining about manga process. I can do that in my future video, but for now, this will be the last video for explaining the process of manga. In last video, we stopped on step 29. So let's start from step 30. I'll be explaining 7 more steps in this video. And let me remind you, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that like button. Thank you so much for tuning into my video. Now let's get started. Step 30. Mastering the spatial depth of speech bubbles. We have already established that speech bubbles act as crucial textual placeholders on a page layout. However, advanced comic lettering treats speech bubbles not as flat stickers passed over a finished illustration, but as physical three-dimensional objects existing inside the panel's environment. Now let's talk about overlapping bubbles for spatial depth. The way a speech bubble overlaps an environment or a character completely changes the reader's perception of layout, hierarchy, and space. 1. Bubble behind the character. If you place a character's hair or shoulder overlapping the front edge of a speech bubble, the bubble is instantly pushed into the background layer of the scene. This communicates a sense of distance or background noise, making it perfect for crowd chatter, ambient announcements, or secondary characters speaking from across a room. Next, bubble in front of the character. Placing the speech bubble directly over a character's clothing or face pulls the voice into the immediate foreground, emphasizing its volume and immediate priority. Next, bubble overlapping the panel border. If a dialog box extends out past the black panel lines and sits squarely over the white gutter space, it breaks the container of time. This signifies an omnipotent narrator, an internal monologue, or a voice that echoes across multiple moments simultaneously. Let's talk about 3 points that matters. 1. Character foreground elements, that is, overlaps bubble or creates room depth. 2. Main dialogue bubble, overlaps panel frame or create urgency. 3. Panel border and background art, that is, sit beneath text or it's called anchor scene. Now, let's get into step 31. Advanced inking techniques, that is, using dry brush, feathering, and speeding. As you walk through a massive multi-page project, your inking toolset should expand beyond the uniform G-pen to include expressive textured brushes that inject movement and raw energy directly into your line work. Now let's talk about the dry brush effect. A dry brush mimics a traditional calligraphic brush that is running low on ink. As you pull a fast stroke across the canvas, The brush tip splits, leaving a textured, scratchy line showing the white paper beneath. This effect is spectacular for drawing elements that are inherently chaotic, dynamic, or texturally rough, such as smoke plumes, dirt explosions, tattered fabric edges, stylized animal fur, or the jagged locks of a character's hair during an intense storm. It breaks up the artificial, clean perfection of digital vector lines, introducing a gritty, raw human flavor into your light theme compositions. Next is line feathering and tapering. Feathering is the technique of drawing tight, parallel ink strokes that taper from thick to thin in rapid succession to create a soft, gradient like shadow edge. Instead of relying entirely on mechanical dot screen tones to shade a character's jawline or clothing folds, use fine featherline work. This traditional hatching technique gives your artwork an elegant, artisanal aesthetic. It shows the reader that every single shadow on the page was thoughtfully constructed by a human hand, adding premium value to your independent print edition or Patreon exclusive updates. Now, let's get into step 32, page pacing and the wave of rest and action. A comic book chapter is a visual symphony. If a composer keeps the music blasting at maximum volume for an entire hour, the audience ears will grow numb. Similarly, if every single page of your manga is packed with chaotic action panels, screaming dialogue, and hyper detailed backgrounds, the reader will experience a massive visual exhaustion. You must master the rhythmic wave of pacing, alternating between high intensity action and quiet, spacious rest. So, that is for the 2 page rhythm model. When designing a chapter layout, always view your page as a 2 page spread, that is, a matching left and right page open together in a book, rather than isolated vertical panels. Let's go pointwise. The right hand page, that is, the build up. Use a structured grid of smaller, neat rectangular panels. Keep the dialogue flowing at a steady pace. This page sets the scene, builds the emotional tension, or tracks the logical progression of an argument or an approach. Next, the left hand page, that is, the explosion or release. This is where you place your primary focal point. Break the grid, use a massive half page splash panel or a borderless layout. This sudden expansion acts as a visual release valve, delivering a shocking revelation, an emotional breakthrough, or a beautiful environment view that rewards the reader for turning the page. By constantly fluctuating between tight, dense panels and wide, open layouts, your chapter maintains a beautiful narrative rhythm that keeps reader turning pages effortlessly late into the night. Now let's move on to step 33, the practical art table makeover, maximizing physical drawing speed. Whether you create your manga entirely on a digital screen or work with traditional inks on physical paper, your immediate physical environment plays a massive role in your production, speed, and mental clarity. An unorganized, cramped workspace introduces friction that drains your creative energy before you even begin drawing. So let's get into the light theme aesthetic setup. Many professional illustrators power towards a clean, open, light themed aesthetic for their physical studio desks using soft, white, light gray, or natural wood tones. 1. Visual calming effect. A cluttered, dark desk absorbing light can feel heavy, closed in, and exhausting during a 10-hour drawing marathon. A clean, light colored table reflects ambient light, making your workspace look spacious, bright, and inviting. Next, true value perspection. When drawing black and white manga, your eyes must constantly judge high contrast values. Working on a clean, neutrally colored surface prevents your brain from experiencing optical illusions caused by harsh color reflections from your desk surface, helping you balance your pure whites and solid blacks with absolute precision. So let's learn about clutter minimization and tool placement. Keep your workspace split strictly into two zones, the creation zone and the support zone. 1. The creation zone. This area should hold your primary tool, your drawing tablet or paper block, completely unencumbered. No loose cables, stray coffee mugs, or random papers should cross into the space. Next, the support zone. Keep your secondary reference monitors, physical sketchbooks, reference material sheets, and drawing tools positioned safely within arm's reach on your left or right side, ensuring your physical movement remains fluid and uninterrupted. Now let's get into step 34, managing long form continuity and the scene Bible. When you reach page 23 and beyond of your series, your story moves past a simple self contained exercise and transforms into a complex living universe. Maintaining absolute visual and narrative continuity across hundreds of panels is a massive administrative challenge. To keep your world cohesive, you must build a comprehensive scene Bible. Let's get into components of a scene Bible. A scene Bible is a dedicated folder, either physical or digital, that acts as a single source of truth for your manga. It should contain three primary subdirections. 1. The character directory includes front, side, and back turnarounds for every character, close-up layout maps of their hair flow, precise height comparison charts showing how they stand next to one another, and clear swatches for their standard clothing and skin tones. 2. The architectural directory. Blueprints and rough 3D layout guides of recurrent locations, such as the exact arrangement of desks in a college classroom, the path from a character's apartment door to their kitchen, or the look of a local campus coffee shop storefront. Next, the prop and low directory. Clear, clean assets of important objects such as smartphones, customized notebooks, bags, vehicles, or specific magical items that reappear across different chapters. Whenever you begin a new page layout, pin the relevant reference sheets from your scene Bible directly to the edge of your monitor screen. This simple professional habit entirely eliminates continuity errors, such as characters' car accidentally swapping sides or a classroom window shifting positions between panels, preserving your project's high end professional integrity. Now let's get into step 35, reclaiming your creative sanctuary, breaking creative block. Every comic creator, from an independent beginner to a weekly serialized master in Japan, eventually hits a brick wall where their creative energy completely vanishes. You sit starting at a blank layout canvas. Your hand feels heavy, your line work looks stiff, and every idea feels entirely lacking. This is creative block, and fighting it with brute force or raw willpower often leads to severe psychological burnout. The psychology of creative block. Creative block usually happens when your internal critic grows significantly stronger than your internal creator. When you look at your canvas and immediately judge your line work as imperfect or compare your rough pencils to a finished masterpiece, your brain shuts down its creative center to protect you from frustration. To break this toxic mental block, you must alter your parameters. That is, 1. Lower the stakes. Tell your brain that the next page you draw is a throwaway draft that nobody will ever see. Give yourself permission to draw messy anatomy, incorrect perspectives, and loose lines. By removing the pressure to create a masterpiece, your hand relaxes, your line flow returns, and you break through the analytical paralysis holding you back. Next, change the medium. If you have been drawing digitally for weeks, turn off your computer entirely. Grab a physical sketchbook and a cheap, unerasable ballpoint pen. Step outside your studio, sit down in a park or a busy coffee shop, and draw raw, messy, observational gestures of the real world around you. The simple exercise strips away the complex technical worries of layers, vectors, and software shortcuts, reconnecting your mind directly with the raw, therapeutic joy of pure visual expressions. Now let's get into step 36, building a global community and the future of independent manga. We are living in an extraordinary, unprecedented era for independent storytelling. Historically, a comic artist relied entirely on major traditional publishing houses to print, distribute, and monetize their work. Today, the internet has completely decentralized the creative industry. You possess direct, unfettered access to a global audience of millions of passionate comic readers. The power of value driven platforms. Platforms like Patreon, Ko-fi, YouTube, and independent digital stores allow you to transform your personal artistic journey into a sustainable independent business. Modern comic fans do not simply buy a static product. They want to support the living human creator behind the panels. When you set up your online profile page, view it as a welcoming creative sanctuary for your community. Offer your supporters high value, behind the scenes rewards that celebrate your entire production journey. 1. High resolution downloads of your clean line art pages for them to practice coloring. Early access to raw, messy chapter storyboards and initial script drafts. Next, step by step video speed paints detailing how you work through complex page redos. Another one, in depth design blogs explaining your style, pivots, character clothing updates, and layout philosophies. By inviting your audience into the daily reality of your craft, you build an incredibly dedicated core community of fans who will cheer for your victory, support, and your independent print launches and keep your creative passion burning bright for years to come. Let's get into the last step, the lifetime journey of a storyteller. As we conclude this massive, exhaustive exploration of the manga page creation pipeline, take a moment to look back at the incredible journey you are undertaking. To look at a blank sheet of paper and decide to fill it with characters, environments, dialogue, and emotion is a profound act of courage. Manga production is a beautiful, lifelong marathon that challenges you to grow every single day, not just as an illustrator mastering anatomy and perspective, but as an empathetic writer exploring human relationships, personal evolution, and deep storytelling. Do not be discouraged by temporary setbacks. Slow drawing days are pages that require complete redos. Every line you sketch, every panel border you place, and every shadow you shade is a structural stepping stone building your ultimate artistic legacy. Trust your unique creative voice. Protect your passion like a scattered flame. Care for your health and keep pouring your heart onto the page. Your unique story is beautiful, irreplaceable, and absolutely worth telling. As you look forward toward formatting your completed chapter layouts, are you learning and leaning toward compiling them into a traditional physical printed book format? Or are you prioritizing an endless vertical scrolling web interface for online readers? Thank you so much for watching. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. And I'm so sorry about the background noises, guys. And you can still hear. I'm so sorry. So let's meet up in my next video. Till then, bye.